Lipton's Tea with Peach. Guys, this is a follow-up video from my recent outing, which some of you have seen the video I posted, I think, yesterday, trying to catch a crappie on the last day of November. I only fished for 10 minutes or less, mainly because I couldn't get the bait to go deep enough in the water to have any chance to actually catch something. And also because there were so many leaves on the water that didn't really show up as well in my video angle as it really was on the water. It was hard to cast anywhere, because if the lure didn't get on a leaf, then the line did, and it just kept the lure from getting down into the depth of the water where I needed it to go. And so I wanted to create this follow-up sit-down video. Not that it's a new topic, but that it's a pertinent topic, especially for the guys who participated in the fall Bard-Off. Because the prize package for the fall Bard-Off included a couple of really tiny ultralight crankbaits. The little tiny Yozori Snap Bean, very cool little lure, and also the little tiny Rebel Crawdad. I forgot what they call it, but with a single hook. Very interesting, single barbless hook. Both of those lures are pretty tiny, and the reason for the follow-up video is I wanted to just have a quick discussion about what you really need to have in your setup to successfully fish those kind of baits. And the same is true for the little tiny jigs, the little 1/8 ounce, 16th ounce, 64th ounce, 32nd ounce, little tiny jigs, which are very good presentations in cold weather. So this time of year, tiny and small is usually more productive if you're out fishing, whether you're catching bass or panfish, either way. And I want to put a couple links in the description below this video to two YouTubers, and some of you, most of you are familiar with both of these guys, but just in case I get a viewer that doesn't know about these channels, please look in the description below and go look at the channel of Big Mike 315 Fishing. He's a longtime member of the BOB, and I consider him a great friend. And I also consider Big Mike to be an expert on ultralight fishing with spinning tackle, spin gear. Mike has demonstrated through the years since I've known him a proficiency for managing these tiny little baits. Of course, he ties his own jigs and all too, which is pretty cool. He's got a great channel. I highly recommend that you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Now, he's not been posting as many videos recently as he used to, and neither have I, and actually most of the BOB has slowed down on their videos. The whole thing has gotten kind of old on YouTube because of all the guys going for the brass ring and promoting it. It just has ruined it for all of us. So most of us have lost our motivation to post a lot of videos. So, and Big Mike, I think, is in that category as well. But he still posts on occasion. And in particular, he is an expert on fishing these ultralight little jigs and little lures. And he has cool casting techniques. He has the right gear, the right rod. The modulus of the fishing rod, that's how stiff it is very important for casting these little tiny lures. You need a light or ultralight modulus on that rod so that the rod will flex and allow the lure to be cast. And the other consideration is the line that you use. Most of the smaller the lure is, the lighter the line needs to be. So you need to go all the way down to 2 to 4 pound, test line, or at least diameter of 2 to 4 pound test. It could be braided line, but it needs to have a diameter of 2 to 4 pound test, especially in cold water that's generally clear, to help the fish not notice the line that much. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But the line choice is very important, and the reel choice, which reel do you use, is very important. And I want to do a little discussion about that as well. So let's get into this topic just a little bit, and check out the channel of Big Mike 315 Fishing. The link is in the description below. And also check out the channel of Juanello 1946. Is a really cool guy. He does fishing and cooking videos all at the same time. Almost every video he puts out is him fishing and catching what he's going to eat, and then preparing that fish in a low-carb dish that always looks yummy. And he also has a really cool wife that he calls Miss Lulu, the expert food critic, who makes a cameo appearance at the end of almost every video he puts out. And the two of them are just so funny together. If you haven't subscribed to Juanello's channel, please find the link to his channel also in the description below. He puts in all of his descriptions of his videos, he puts the details of his gear, whatever rod, reel, line, every detail, the lures, everything he's using. And in his case, he fishes a lot of light lures as well for panfish. And he seems to do pretty well with a line, a spider wire Ultracast Invisibraid. I think it's 10-pound test, which has a 2-pound diameter for monofilament. And he catches everything in the pond on that line. So that line does not, even though it's braided line, does not spook the fish. And it's enough pound test, 10-pound test, to handle most fish that most of us really ever catch. Not counting the guys that live on the big lakes that catch the bass over 10 pounds. But for us normal guys, 10-pound test will handle just about anything. And for ultralight fishing, I think that braid is a decent choice. I don't think Tufline, I might be mistaken, but I don't think they have something to compete with that type of braid that's invisible or less visible in the water and down to that pound test. I'd have to look into that. But anyway, so that's why I'm putting Juanello's link below, because he has success all throughout the year, and including fishing in the snow and cold water that's crystal clear using that braided line. So that's a line that you could consider. Okay, now let's get started. What I want to do mainly is go to a screenshot now, and I want to visit the website of Bass Pro Shops, and I want to show you guys a reel option, a spinning reel option that I think is maybe the best possible spinning reel you could use for ultralight fishing. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so here I am at the website of Bass Pro, and this is their home page. I was here on this website a week or so ago, almost bought the reel I'm going to show you guys. I didn't pull the trigger on it because I had a feeling the price would go down between now and Christmas. And looking at their Christmas ad that's on the site today, the reel I'm interested in is not on sale yet. Well, according to them it is on sale, but to me they can do better. So anyway, let's do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to go up here, we're going to come down to fishing, fishing reels, spinning reels. Let's click on that. Generally, when you're casting tiny little lightweight jigs and crankbaits and small lures of any kind, once they get down to below 1/8 of an ounce, 1/8 of an ounce you can cast with a medium rod and normal line, okay. But when you get below 1/8 of an ounce, generally we're talking spinning gear, because bait casters tend to have more backlash issues when you try to cast light. Now there's guys that do it, and good for them, but I don't recommend it for the average fisherman. Below 1/8 of an ounce, you're talking spinning gear. So what are the features that we're most interested in a spinning reel for casting ultralight lures? Well, here on the first page we can just see some images of a couple different reel styles. Just take a look. Now all these are really nice reels, no doubt about it. Some of them are very expensive. I think it's become absurd, I think it's absurd. We don't need all this expensive gear for freshwater fishing. It's absurd. It's an industry. It's a market, you know. But now with a little bit of digging and a little bit of research, you might be able to find a reel that's even better suited for casting ultralight lures than I'm going to point out to you today. But I'm just going to talk about one particular feature of these reels that interests me and why I choose this reel right here. This is the Bass Pro Shops Pro Qualifier spinning reel. And you can see right now they say regular price $79.99, on sale $59.97. Well, I think they can do better than that. But anyway, what do you notice about this reel right away just looking at the picture compared to these other reels? Anything? I'll tell you that what is the feature that is makes this reel my reel of choice is easy to see in this photo compared to these other reels. What it is, it's the diameter of the spool. You see this? A standard reel diameter. Standard reel diameter. But look at this one. The reel diameter is larger. Let's click on this reel. You can tell by looking at it that it has a larger reel spool diameter. Now what that does is it helps the line come off the reel more easily. And when you're casting really light lures below 1/8 of an ounce, this is an important feature because it allows the line to come off with less friction. And for any line that has any memory whatsoever, monofilament, etc., you know, the coiling on that line is a little bit more relaxed because of the larger spool diameter. And that is what matters. It allows you to make longer casts with the very tiny lures that you want to fish. Now down here they offer various options. They offer a gear ratio 5:1:1. It's got 7+1 ball bearings, so you know 8 ball bearings. Look at the drag. Amazing. 19.5 pound drag in that reel. That's pretty good. Amazing. The reel weighs just a little over half a pound, 10.4 ounces. And the smallest version will put on, you can put on, what is it, 8 pounds of mono, 140 yards. That's plenty. And if you're going to fish lighter line than that, you can get more line on it. And braid capacity, 30 pounds, which is kind of heavy, 140 yards. That's plenty of line for freshwater fishing. They offer other options. Here's one that's a 6:1:1 gear ratio. I'd go for that one. Has the same line capacity. So it's the same size reel, 10.4 ounces, but it has a slightly faster retrieve. This is the one I would go for. The first one has a 33-inch retrieve per turn of the reel handle, per crank. And the second one, 6:1:1 ratio, has a 39-inch retrieve per crank of the reel handle. I would choose the 6:1:1. Then they start going up in size, which doesn't interest me for this video. I'm mainly talking about ultralight and casting ultralight lures. This would be my reel of choice. Now let me see if I can show you the thing that they say. Here we go. Let me read this to you. Bass Pro Shops Pro Qualifier spinning reels are legendary among fishermen from the wilds of Canada to the great bass lakes of the American South and everywhere in between. I don't want to read all the hype, I apologize. Let me skip that part. Let's just go here. Improvements include an oversized stainless steel line roller. That's important. with a retooled taper to prevent line wear. That's good. A skeletal rotor design for smooth, resistance-free performance. A ribbed silicone paddle style knob, and a free extra spool made for braid with an arbor that allows superline to be tied directly to the spool. So you get an extra spool with this reel. That's good. The 8-bearing system includes power lock, instant anti-reverse, and the 6-washer carbon fiber drag system allows you to control big fish with smooth, consistent pressure. Very good quality. Now somewhere down here it'll say what I want you to see. Let me look down through here. It's got an aluminum alloy frame, so it's a metal reel, not plastic or graphite. Alright, it just says mag spool technology. But somewhere here, it says that this reel has a 33% larger spool diameter than a standard reel. I can't seem to find it here. But that's the ticket. It's a 1/3 larger diameter. That's a lot when you're talking about throwing really light lures. That 1/3 larger diameter comes in for better casting. And that's important. So this is the reel I recommend. I think I'm going to get one of these myself, but I'll wait till either this price drops before Christmas or I'll wait till, you know, after Christmas. I don't know. But I want to get one of these reels because I'll tell you, watching Big Mike fish and using his little slingshot casting technique is just amazing. And just watching him operate with his tiny jigs mainly, and casting pretty well with the gear he's chosen. And the same for Juanello, 1946. The same for him. He does a good job of casting. He uses an ultralight rod by Daiwa, I think. And he uses that little, spider wire ultracast Invisibraid 10-pound braid that has a 2-pound mono diameter. That's probably a decent choice. I might have to try that myself for this ultralight fishing, that line. But this is what I want to talk with you guys about. Let me return back to the face on camera now. So yeah, it's a little bit of a long video just to bring out one point. And the point I wanted to bring out is that larger reel diameter for ultralight fishing. Now there's other ways around it, I didn't want to dig through my fishing gear and bring out my reels that are still in their boxes, never used. But one option you can do is you can go to a bigger reel generally, just a generally larger size reel, and that will have a naturally larger spool on it. So that would have the same effect, but the downside to that is you're going up in weight. The thing is too heavy for ultralight rod and fishing. You'd feel it all day long trying to cast with a reel that's too large for your setup just to get that large diameter. Now you don't want to do that. What you need is an ultralight small reel that has the right line capacity, which is what I just showed you at Bass Pro Shops, and it has a 1/3 larger reel spool. That's the ticket. So yeah, it's a little bit expensive, even at $60 plus probably shipping. I don't know if it's free shipping or not, but it's not cheap, But when you're out on the water and you only have limited number of days you can fish, limited number of hours you can fish. When you're out there in different weather conditions, it's either hot and muggy or it's freezing cold out and windy. You want the best chance you can have to take advantage of the time you're investing in fishing to catch something. And that's why it's worth it in some cases, not in all cases, because I don't go in for the bass fishing industry hype, as you know. I'm very much against that. But there are times when we just need to spend a little bit more money, if necessary, to get the right gear. And otherwise, we can get by with Walmart rods and stuff like that, and I've done it plenty of times, as you all know. But this is one time when you're going to be casting ultralight that you need the right gear, and that's why I recommend the channel of Big Mike 315 Fishing and Juan Nello 1949 as well, or 1946. These guys know how to cast these light presentations with good effect. And believe me, when you're out there in freezing cold weather, crystal clear water, you better have the right line, the right presentation, and you need to get it down deep enough where the fish are, because at that time of year, they're usually not up in the top couple feet of water. They're down deep or they're suspended. And in the case of this little snap bean I was throwing the other day, I only had like a 2-foot monofilament leader, and that was all the depth I was getting on that lure. It wasn't enough. So you need to be able to get the depth, get down where the fish are, and then you'll catch them and have a great time. So that's what this is about. And for you guys that won that participated in the Fall Bardolph, I really enjoyed your videos. I hope you liked the prize packages. And I just wanted to put out these notes for you guys so that you could get the most out of that prize package, okay? If you try to go out there and throw like I did the other day, I had that 2-foot leader of 6-pound test mono. Even that mono was too heavy, because the snap bean recommends no more than 4-pound test. So I was exceeding that, and then behind it I had Tufline 20-pound, Tufline XP 20-pound braid. Too big, too heavy, floated too much, and would not allow that lure to get down in depth, because the little blade, the little bill on that lure, which would pull it down into the water, wasn't big enough to pull all that braid down in. So my time was a failure. It was a wasted effort, in other words. I don't really enjoy wasting effort these days. I want it to work, So I will set myself up better next time when I'm out to fish these little tiny lures. I'll have one of those reels I just showed you, the Bass Pro Qualifier. I'll get one of them, and I'll have the right line on there, and I'll probably be much more successful and catch some nice crappie and perch and some other fun panfish. It'll be a good time. I'm hoping to do that, between now and the end of the year. My brother Jay Bird is threatening. He wants to go out and do our traditional December 31 fish. To be honest, I get cold easier these days than I used to. And fishing out in the cold does not appeal to me anymore. So I don't know if he'll get me out there or not, but he's threatening. He's already calling me, am I a man or a mouse? He's playing that game on me. He wants to fish the last day of the year traditional like we used to. We'll see. If we do, I'm hoping by then to have the right reel. I've already got my ultralight Shakespeare, graphite, micro graphite ultralight spinning rod. I would use that really light limber rod with the correct line and that Bass Pro Qualifier spinning reel with the larger spool to throw these light lures. If I go on the last day of this year, that's the setup I would probably be using. So stay tuned. Let's see if I can do it. And I wish you guys all the success. I wish all of you an early Merry Christmas. Maybe you can get that reel in your Christmas under your tree, So thanks for everything, guys. You guys are the best. Sorry for the long video, as always, but I really appreciate your views, your time, and all your support for the Clatterbrat brand. And just want to say thanks for watching. God bless, and best wishes.